Okay, folks, I'm going to try to keep this brief because I do have to watch Stranger Things Season 4. It has just premiered. But I watched Better Call Saul Season 6, Part 1, as it aired, one of my favorite shows of all time. I think I might have a bit of a controversial take on it. Let's talk about it. Alright, so I want to start out by discussing episodes 1 through 3. Episodes 1 and 2 debuted on the same day. If you were watching it, live like I was, you will remember that. And those episodes were incredible. Incredible starts to the season. Reminded me why I love this show so much. How far I watched these on a TV screen. I really hadn't done that for the rest. I've been watching them on computer, iPad, whatever. But it just incredibly cinematic experience. Reminded me really how far we've come since Breaking Bad. And I really appreciated what these episodes were going for you, obviously. And then there will be spoilers for the show, by the way. I do want to clear that up right out the gate. You have the Nacho arc is being explored here. Really, the signs were there that this was going to be a send-off just because of how much attention was being focused on him. But some incredible tension building there. Michael Mando, I'm going to get into performances later. I'm going to save most of it for that, but just remarkable stuff coming from him. Jimmy and Kim, obviously, we're getting sort of reacquainted to them in episodes 1 through 3 after a bit of a break since season 5. And then again, it's tough to talk about because I want to talk about the performances from them there. But I'll get into that later. But episodes 1 through 3 is such a golden start to the season, obviously capped off with, again, spoilers, Nacho's untimely death. Unfortunate, we knew it was coming, but it was just a hell of an awakening for the season. Really started me, I was like kickstarted. I'm like, what the hell could they do now? What are they going to spend the rest of the time filling? Because you still have it was 6 plus 4, it's 10. You have 10 is that right? I'm tired, I'm sorry. Yeah, because it was 7 and 6. So 4 and 6, so 10. I'm tired, it's midnight. 10 episodes remaining after Nacho's death, and I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do now. Seems like, I don't know. But anyway, but episodes 1 through 3, magnifique start to the season. And then you get into episodes 4 through 6, and Nacho's dead, obviously, so that arc is sort of removed. Lalo is on the run, and you sort of get a look into his investigation, and this is where my controversial take comes in. And I have seen a lot of debate about this, so I do want to defend myself very clearly on this, and I want to make my point very clear. Any criticism you have of my opinion or of the show or whatever, please leave it in the comments below. I love conversation. I encourage disagreement. So if you dislike anything I'm saying, you disagree, you're having a reaction to it, you love the show, you hate the show, whatever, leave it down below. But I do want to articulate my point as best I can so that you understand it, so that you can accurately respond. I find episodes 4 through 6, the show is slow. Okay, Better Call Saul is a slower show than Breaking Bad and a lot of other shows out there. But I am of the belief that it has not been this slow, at least in a while, if not ever. I think this is probably the slowest Better Call Saul has ever been, and that's for a few reasons. One, you have Gus and Mike. You have Gus and Mike, and they're just not interesting in episodes 4 through 6 because they're on the run, they're hiding, and I don't really care. I don't really care about Gus going into his little hideaway, walking through houses or whatever to avoid Lalo. Just not super intriguing stuff. I'm just not invested. Flip side, Lalo searching for the Werner mystery, Werner Ziegler. Again, not super interesting. I like the tension-filled scene in Germany, but not super intrigued with it. I've been every other Lalo investigation scene. He's in the car. He's looking at the car in the desert. He's going to the travel agency. It's all just so much more interesting. Tony Dalton gets more of a chance to act in those scenes. The mystery at the core of it is always so much more captivating in those scenes. And here, I'm just not as interested. And then Kim and Jimmy here, and this is, I think, the fatal flaw of episodes 4 through 6. They spend episodes 4 through 6 hatching a plan to get back at Howard. And this isn't something new for the series, obviously, but usually when they do something like this, a plan doesn't take longer than an episode to come up with and execute. And they spend 3 episodes. For some reason, they take all these plot lines. I think I mentioned all 3. The Gus, Mike, the Jimmy Kim, and the Lalo. They take all three and they sort of stretch it out through 3 episodes. And I don't believe it needed that much time. I think 2 would have definitely sufficed, and honestly, I would have been fine with 1. But the way that the plan is hatched, they keep you in the dark intentionally, and I will talk about the payoff of it, obviously, but I'm just super not invested because they're just not giving me enough information to sink my teeth into to really feel gripped. I'm obviously curious as to what they're going to do, but I can't understand the intricacies of their plan, and so as a result, I just feel a little detached. And, somebody might say on rewatch, now that you know what the plan was the whole time, you might be a little more invested. And I just don't know that I agree. I feel like I might be even a little more upset that it took them 3 episodes for me to feel invested in their incredibly elaborate plan. And so, as a result, I think Season 6, Part 1 is going to largely be remembered by me as sort of the slow, maybe the slowest season of Better Call Saul yet. Obviously, the full Season 6, Part 2 could make up for that, redeem its legacy a little bit. But I, just for the majority, I guess not the majority, but about half of this season, very uninvested, very almost bored at times. The filmmaking on display is still impressive. Everything going on is still well done TV, but it's just not enjoyable. I'm not enjoying episodes 4 through 6, and that's disappointing. And then you get to the finale, and again, you're just back in Better Call Saul, top tier film. Like, this is the kind of stuff I tune in to watch the show for. Some of the greatest television content out there of all time. The payoff is remarkable. You get the whole scheme. Who doesn't love it when a plan comes together? I mean, and especially the writers of the show. Again, I'll talk about the writing in a bit, but the plan is hatched brilliantly. All the actors are top of their game, and then you get, again, spoilers, the remarkable, wow, just mind-blowing Howard death instant. Lalo's back. Lalo's hatching a plan. We all know what's happening. Shit's getting intense for the back half of Season 6, and everything is coming to a boiling point. Jim and Kimmy, can they be redeemed at this point for doing such an evil, soulless, as Howard puts it, thing? The payoff here is truly incredible. And we're back, We took a little, episode 1 through 3, great. Took a little break there for a bit where it's like a train, Train starts off super strong, you're full speed, and then, I don't know, we going up a mountain, I guess. We're just chugging along slowly, admire the scenery or whatever. It's nice scenery, sure. It's the same scenery you were looking at before, just over a longer period of time. And then, boom, down the hill, you're speeding off, zooming faster than ever to the next part of the track. That's Better Call Saul Season 6, Part 1. I did want to get into the performances. First, Michael Mando as Nacho turns in his final performance of the series. He's been great throughout. He hasn't had a ton of material to work with. He has been sort of a more quiet character. Actually, definitely more subtle performances from there, and I've appreciated it throughout. But I do think he's just absolutely remarkable in these final episodes. Just the fear across his face of the situation, but he's still so resilient up until the final moment. And then that monologue is, of course, incredible. Michael Mando as Nacho is brilliant. I think I've done this like 3 times tonight across all my videos. Howard Hamlin is Patrick Fabian, plays Howard Hamlin. Again, great performance. He's pretty much the usual Howard for most of the season, again, until that final episode where he's just getting delusional and crazy. But I don't know how Patrick Fabian is in real life, but Howard is just such a joy to watch. He's like this facade he puts up almost of just such friendliness. But it almost just like, no wonder a lot of people just came to dislike him, because it's just it feels like such a douche. I gotta be honest. Like, this guy is so pompous, but it's a joy to watch, I gotta say. I think Rhea Seehorn, I believe is how you pronounce her name, as Kim Wexler, is the best she's ever been in the show, probably. I think giving an incredible performance. She is so cold at times. I think back to sitting on the couch with I forgot their names, the family that like embezzled, and she is just cold, or when she's just getting so excited, scheming how they're going to mess with Howard, intimidating at times, talking to like the people tailing her and whatnot. Rhea Seehorn turning in a remarkable performance. I am going to say something again, a little controversial. I love Bob Odenkirk. I really, really do. He's an incredible actor. I've loved him as Jimmy McGill, as Saul Goodman, throughout the past 5 seasons. I don't know I'm obviously aware of the heart attack, I believe it was, or heat stroke, something story that happened while they were filming. I don't know when in the process it happened. And I'm also aware that they're trying to really, because Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad is still not the Goodman we have here. It's a pretty sharp turn. And so I get that they have to really write this current character of Jimmy into the real Saul we know from Breaking Bad. And so it could just be that. But I thought his performance was just a little off, and it was hard to get into at times. It wasn't like that throughout, I will say, but there were just moments in time where I noticed I was not as engaged with his performance as I might have been in a previous season. And then Tony Dalton as Lalo doesn't get a ton of screen time this season, but is incredible. 2 thumbs up for Tony Dalton as Lalo. And then I want to talk about the writing, which is just so brilliant. These writers are, guys, just some remarkable writing. Like, I aspire so much to be on the level of these guys. They are so intelligent in the way they write, whether it's a scheme that's being plotted or a callback to a previous season, or just the way an episode begins or ends, or really anything, any comparison to something that happens in an episode. These guys are thinking of everything. They're on top of everything. Their passion for the show clearly shines through in the scripts. I have no complaints about the writing, just some remarkable television writing. And one of the highlights of Better Call Saul as a show, and especially this Season 6 Part 1, has some remarkable writing. And now it's time to rate it and then sort of discuss the future. And rating it is tough, because again, 4 out of 7 of the episodes I really, really enjoy. Those 3 episodes do bring it down for me, sort of. So it's either an A or a B. And I think, but I can't let my love for the show blind me either, because I want to give it an A. I do. But I just don't like those 3 episodes. But how much do they bring it down for me? This is really tough, guys. And like, if I give it an A, is it on the same level as some of the other seasons? I mean, I just don't know. Okay. This is tough. I'm going to give it an A for now. I'm going to give Better Call Saul Season 6 Part 1 an A, because I still thoroughly enjoyed most of it. Again, episodes 4 through 6 are not like they're not even really horrible television, just super mediocre in my opinion, because they're pretty boring, pretty slow. And again, I don't have a problem with something being slow. And a lot of the criticism I see on a place like Twitter, which again, Twitter is just a horrible app in general. But people are like, oh, not everything can be mob related. Okay, I was never into Better Call Saul for the mob stuff. I love it. I think it's great. But it is probably, if I had to pick my least favorite part of the show, not because it's bad, just because I love the other stuff more, it would probably be the mob stuff. So that's not why I dislike the ridiculously slow nature of this final season. It's because it's ridiculously slow, even to a point where it is much slower than other seasons of Better Call Saul, a notoriously slow show. And the slow burn can make it worth it. And a lot of times, the slow burn is what makes the payoff so good. But I did not find that to be the case for this season, unfortunately. And so, if that's your criticism, that I should go back to the mob stuff or whatever, or watch Breaking Bad if that's all I want, you can save that. You can keep that to yourself, because that is frankly not the case. But it's going to be an A. And I'm insanely excited. They did a good job of setting up for Season 6 Part 2. I didn't lose faith or anything because of episodes 4 through 6. I think it's just kind of a blunder. Unfortunately, I think it could have been avoided, and I would have had a much better memory of Season 6 Part 1. But it was still a perfectly sufficient season of television, and one that I enjoyed watching live. And I hope the same can be said for Season 6 Part 2 when July 11th, I believe is the date, rolls around. All right, folks, I've been eating PC Reviews. That has been my review of Better Call Saul Season 6 Part 1. Let me know what you thought down below, whether you agree with me. Again, I haven't seen a whole lot of people that agree with me, but I'm sure there are people out there. Or if you disagree with me, which I have seen a lot of people who would probably disagree with some of the opinions I've said today. Let me know down below. I love Better Call Saul. You probably love Better Call Saul if you're here. Let me know. I will see you come July 11th. For Better Call Saul Season 6 Part 2, or if you choose to come back before then to watch another video, please. It means a lot. Bye-bye.